Hey guys, as we continue working on our traffic safety merit badge, requirement number 4 is what we're going to be working on right now. And that one is in regards to recognizing the distance that a car will travel during the time needed for decision reaction. So basically, we're trying to gauge how long it takes you to travel once you recognize, you react to the need to have to stop. There's 3 different speeds we're trying to assess. The first one's going to be 30 miles per hour. So if you're traveling in a vehicle 30 miles per hour, how long is it going to take you to stop before you come to a complete stop? And that's 30 miles an hour. You put on your brakes. That's what your reaction time is. And then how long will it take from when you react to it actually physically stopping? That is, you'd be surprised how long it takes. The second one of that will be at 50 miles an hour. Again, traveling 50 miles an hour, all of a sudden you see that you have to come to a stop to avoid a collision, an accident. And at that point you hit the brakes. How long is it going to take you to actually come to a complete stop? And then the final one is 70 miles per hour. If you are traveling at 70 miles per hour, again, you see something up ahead and all of a sudden you have to react, which is what you tend to do. You tend to react. Unless you are really good and in a safe environment, you practice responding, you will always react. It's just kind of what most people tend to do. We don't really practice unless you go to defensive driving school, which I highly recommend if you can do. The next one is a 70 miles per hour. So you're traveling at 70 miles per hour and you see that you need to come to a stop to avoid hitting another vehicle or potentially a pedestrian up ahead. And you all of a sudden hit the brakes. How long from when you hit the brakes to you actually stopping? That's the part we're going to see. And the other part of it is also recognizing the difference between on a dry, level pavement. And then if there's other weather conditions, then everything we're about to talk about changes completely. When you add water, when you add sleet, when you add rain, water and rain, or snow, it's going to change how long it takes you to stop. If the road is not leveled and dry, so you go on a gravel road, we've got several gravel roads out in our area, it's also going to impact how you are handling the vehicle and how long it takes you to stop. So I'm going to turn the camera around here in a second. So we've marked off the parking lot at Aubrey Bend, and this is the south parking lot. This is the one that faces the cross-country field, the entrance right off of 79th Street. So it entering the back road of 179th, going from the cross-country field. And as if we're going to be facing south, but if we were to go left, we're going to be going east towards southwest. That kind of gives you a gauge if you've been out to these schools. So bear with me for a second. So we're going to start off right in front of the building, which is where I was standing. And now we're going to take the very first tree on the grass itself at Aubrey Bend in the back side of the building. This is where you can also see the bike racks. So you see those bike racks? Now we're panning back around. So we start here and we're going to at 0 miles per hour and we're gaining speed right about this area here, which is right at around the curb, is where we'll see about 30 miles per hour. We're going to mark this off. I'm going to take pictures of it and show. We've actually taken pictures already, gauging that difference. But my point is that we have marked the entire parking lot from that stake there all the way. We're going to walk all the way across the drop-off pickup lane of the school, backside of the school. This is where we start the first set of stalls. By the way, each stall is 9.5 feet in width from the one orange line or yellow line to the next yellow line. So we continue on. The big one that a lot of people don't recognize how long it really takes you to stop, especially if you're drag racing, is if you're traveling 70 miles per hour, the distance it'll take you to come to a complete stop will be 350 feet. We're not there yet. We're still going. And we're going. So it's imperative that you know, one, keep in mind your where you're traveling, what your surroundings are, what your road conditions are, what your vehicle condition is. So if you have bald tires, very little tread on them, which is why you have to do the vehicle safety check. If you don't have any tread or very little tread, these numbers don't mean anything. It changes it, because now you're more than likely going to spin out. Hang on. And this, my friends, is 350 miles. I'm sorry, 350 feet from the little tree at the front of Aubrey Bend by the bicycle rack to basically about maybe 15 feet from the light pole on the back road that leads you from the activity center track area through the back road of Blue Valley Southwest. So I hope that gives you a good idea of how important it is for you to always know how fast you're traveling, what your road conditions are, what your vehicle maintenance conditions are, and your driver awareness. If you keep all these in mind, you should be able to react appropriately based on the conditions of the road and keeping your surroundings in mind. Remember, you don't have a choice in other people's reaction or ability to recognize a possible threat. You do. And if you can keep that in mind as you're driving, you will minimize the likelihood of you having a car accident, which is obviously something we want to ensure that you guys are always safe. And the longer you stay with a clean driving record, your insurance company will reward you for that eventually, because they'll continue to lower your rates. I don't know if this is kind of more of a tidbit. If you guys didn't know, when you first get added onto your parents' insurance, the rates of our insurance go up drastically. And that's because you're considered an inexperienced driver. And you could say, Mrs. Flores, I've been driving since I was 14. Now I'm 18. That means I've got 4 years under my belt. That's awesome. That's great. You're still technically an inexperienced driver. 26 is kind of the gauge that a lot of insurance companies use as the ability to start kind of lowering your rates. And that's because they recognize more than likely you've been through college, you've gained some life experience, you are more than likely holding down a job of some sort, part-time, internship, or full-time, or you're going to school full-time. So they recognize that you're more responsible. So keep those pieces in mind. All right, we're going to shut this off and go to the next segment of this requirement.